Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Diggs. It is another beautiful one out here in the Pacific Northwest. We've had stormy weather all weekend, but that's fine, since now we get to get ready and talk about the new Halloween Little Leela. Just as a quick reminder, everyone, you can support me by using my affiliate link when you purchase Visior at dig.gs/coins. If you are using Amazon coins to save 20% on your purchases of Visior. Halloween Leela was announced along with Halloween Ryu, and she will be coming out tomorrow. So, Halloween Leela, what do we need to know about her? She is an arithmatician. I'm just gonna call her a calculator. Wind element, a lot of people are probably going to compare her to Ildyra, and I would say literally her main class abilities are a carbon copy of Ildyra, except for wind element. So if you have an Ildyra, you probably know what you're already getting into. However, she does have some very specific differences that are important to note. She has the subjob White Mage with access to full life, but not access to Curaga. She also has the subjob Ninja. Her primary weapon is a mace. She also has access to hat, clothes, and accessories. Talking about accessories, her TMR is called the Wolf Band. It gives HP 206, Agility 5, and Evasion 8. Keep in mind that stat stacking is also scheduled to be coming out in the next update or two, so this is also going to be relevant in reference to Evade as we talk about it in this video. The ability that's associated with it is very powerful, not just for Little Leela. It's going to be increased magic 80% for 3 turns to self, increase accuracy 30 for 3 turns to self, decrease defense and spirit by 10%. That is a very substantial TMR. I would say between Ryu and Little Leela, both of their TMRs are going to be highly sought after. And I think for any Magic team, this is probably the most powerful Magic TMR in the game. I would even say this is more powerful on a Magic team than, say, Salir's TMR. Her mastery ability is going to give HP 10% for wind allies and wind attack 15 for wind allies. Keep in mind this does include herself. She also gets an increase in evasion rate 10 for herself. She has 20% resistance to earth. She's 10% weak to ice. She does have weaknesses to everything except magic, which she has 20% resistance to magic. And missile, she's a little bit less weak. In terms of resistances, she is resistant to silence and disable, which is really surprising. Some really good sort of abilities to have resistances against. And I can think of multiple times where this might be useful, particularly if you're going up against gunner compositions or something where disable is going to be more relevant. Taking a look at her max stats here, her HP only comes in at just below 2,000. She also has very high AP at 155. Attack is of course low as you would expect, and her magic power, surprisingly, her magic power is lower than Ryu's, which is kind of funny. She only has 262 magic power, which means she is the 5th highest magic unit in JP. She also gets an additional 38 magic, putting her at a nice and even 300, with an additional 20% magic buff off of that. So she will have a decent amount of magic, and she will be one of the higher magic units in the game. Her agility is at 57, that sub ninja of course helping out here, with an additional 9 agility. That is so fast. She is going to be a very fast calculator unit. Dexterity 153, but her luck is the 4th highest base luck in the game at 172. She gets an additional 31, but as I said, when we're thinking about Little Leela, we are going to be talking about evasion. She gets that plus 10 evasion for herself. She gets the plus 8 on the TMR, and with stat stacking, I imagine that evasion comps are maybe going to become even a little bit more powerful. Now, of course, thanks to Kisang, we do get to see the video of Little Leela's LB. If I can start it here, there we go. Kisang, a friend of the channel, you make sure to check his channel out down in the description down below. He is a JP War of the Visions content creator, and he does all of the limit breaks for every character that comes out in 1080 HD, everyone. Now, I actually haven't seen the entirety of this video yet. If it's anything like Raryu's, though, it's gonna be super badass. Beautiful. Giant pumpkin. Now, I do have to say, I'm not sure how relevant her LB is going to be. The reason I'm saying that is it's a single target, 275% modifier attack at 49 AP. It only has a range of 3. It does dispel all debuffs and haste. I'm not sure it's going to be crazy relevant. I think it's going to be a little bit like Fryevia's LB, where if the enemy comes within range, she's probably going to pop it on them and deal a moderate amount of damage. I don't see it one-shotting people yet. I could see it maybe... I mean, 275% modifier is strong. It is only single target. And I imagine if anyone's getting within 3 tiles of Little Leela, she is likely either already dead or she has a higher healing priority or magic priority than Poppygar LB. Again, I think it might be worth leveling, and it's something that you just kind of have in the back of your pocket. Okay, now everything's broken. All right, so in terms of her support abilities, height 3 to height 2, of course, you can probably decide if you want to set or not. I would say what's probably more important is level 4 to level 3, particularly so that you can just make sure you get those modifiers on Ayaka and Aurora. Honestly, though, you don't necessarily need the level 4 to level 3 all the time. Particularly if you're wanting like a fast Little Leela to support, you might actually want to set Shadowrunner and Shikuchi for the increased movement, the increased agility, and the increased luck. That actually might be more valuable to you than enhancing level 3 Ayaka, for example, and maybe you'll just have her use Height Arrow instead. So I would probably do some combination of these last 3, and actually I'm even leaning more towards Shadowrunning now. I think I'm gonna say set her ninja passives. I think we're gonna maybe level 4 to level 3 might be a little situational. We'll talk about it when we get to the modifiers and her abilities. For her counters, you're of course gonna want to set damage distribution, 20% proc to absorb 50% of HP damage. Pretty good. Definitely going to be the one that you are going to want to set for her. Now, this is where I would say we have a situation. So you kind of have a choice, right? You have a choice between setting level 4 to level 3 so that you can modify Ayaka here, or you have an option of setting higher agility and higher luck. The modifier is only 45%, but the area of effect damage is a little bit higher. You may just want to adjust it depending on the content that you're doing. I think for Arena, though, this is probably not going to matter as much as being able to evade or dodge attacks with her. That's just what I'm thinking. Again, it's going to depend on your build. It's going to depend on your setup, particularly when you already have High Height Arrow. That is a high range single target attack that gains 5% modification for each height level. It's a pretty powerful ability. So we also have access to pretty much identically Ildyra's kit right now. You see we do have the height high cure. Oh my god, this Google translation is killing me right now. We have height 3 Cura, or otherwise height 2 Cura. Keep in mind that this is a 120x modifier here, and it increases by 60% if the height is a multiple of 3 for allies. So that means if you are in height 0, it still works for you. And we also have access to height 3 Holy. Now, an important note here is that Curaga is 180x heal for allies. So height 3 Cura, if you land it on the modifier level, it is actually 180x or a base Curaga heal. Now, do I think that's as good as Curaga? I don't, and that's where Little Leela kind of hits the middle ground when we start comparing her to Ayaka. Some of her other sub-jobs are, of course, going to be Sub-Arithmatician and Sub-Ninja. Sub-Arithmatician, I doubt we are going to see. We don't see it very much with Ildyra right now, and probably, I mean, when you're looking at sort of this height disable ability, being able to land the modifier is so prevalent that I think it's not worth it unless you are able to 100% land the modifier, which is not all the time. So I would say height disable, go ahead and leave it. Don't stress about it. Just transition to either ninja sub or transition to white mage sub. Ninja sub. So we have access to hide, which is wonderful. So decrease the chance of being targeted. Also have access to Decider of Fate. And we also have access to Utsusemi, which increases her evasion. All of these are going to help her survive. And I think all of these are viable. However, I think at the end of the day, sub white mage is going to be the best for her. And I think everybody is going to be running sub white mage. Not only does she get access to Asuna, she does get access to Kurata. She also gets access to Cura, which is going to be a 120x modifier, right? And then she also gets access to full life here, which is very substantial. You'll probably just turn off everything else. I imagine most people will be running sub white mage on Little Leela. I could see an argument as well for sub ninja, depending on the composition. However, with so many Ruinstones out there and Glaciellas right now, I feel like the guaranteed hit abilities are out there right now, and maybe sub ninja won't save you as much as you think, because if you're going up against a team that has high accuracy or surefire hit attacks, they're going to be targeting you specifically. Now let's talk equipment. Bewitching Heals, of course, is going to be up there. It's going to give defense 7, accuracy 12, agility 5. It's also going to give False Veil of Darkness, which is a enmity down ability. Sacred Step, of course, is Ayaka's TMR, going to be absolutely wonderful for you. Also has agility on it. I think Sage's Hat plus 5 is going to be the best piece of gear for her. You could make an argument for Platinum Robe plus 5. However, I honestly think you're going to want to lean in on the evasion. I think the evasion will save you more than anything relating to defense or Platinum Robe, right? Unlike Ayaka, you are basically sacrificing that durability for evasion and being able to leverage a stronger card, right? So if you're thinking about Ayaka and building her for resilience, you're going to put like Leona's Castle on her or some card that's going to make her a little bit more tanky. So since we have Evasion Little Leela here, you actually might not need to do that. Platinum Robe, of course, always viable. I actually think King Elda's TMR, depending on how the evasion stacks work, could be viable as well. Platinum Mace plus 5, that's just the one you should be running. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Farm another Platinum Mace plus 5, get it ready because you're going to need another one here. In terms of TMR, you could put Ryryu's TMR on her. You could also put her own TMR, and I think her own TMR is probably going to be the best in slot for her. It's going to increase magic 80% for 3 turns to self, increase accuracy 30 for 3 turns to self, and it's going to decrease her defense and spirit by 10. Again, another reason that defense and spirit is just not going to save her. You're going to need to lean heavily into evasion, and thankfully her TMR also provides that. Now, looking at VC cards here, your options are going to be pretty limited if you want to go for an optimal build. I think probably the worst one in this entire set is going to be the Scion card. I think Scion would probably be better on another unit and you getting the passive, very similar with Tetrasilphid. Just because these cards right here, Ramu, Horn, and Trousseau, add so much base magic that it's going to make her that much more powerful. Again, Rama for the magic up is going to be absolutely wonderful. Horn for the magic up and also the party support. Trousseau for the magic attack up and the base magic on the card. Beowulf card, of course, for agility to kind of lean in heavily since she has a high base agility. She is going to benefit from this more. And Tetrasilphid for the wind attack. Plus, that's going to be wonderful. And I would definitely consider Tetrasilphid as well in terms of pairing her with other wind units like Yerma, for example. I think you could put together a really powerful wind composition team right now. Particularly the fact that her master ability enhances other wind units in the party. Yerma is going to be beast. I'm sure Merlot is just going nuts for this right now. I can think about Howlet when he comes out here in a couple weeks. Howlet is probably going to be changed completely now. It's going to be so powerful when Howlet comes out. I just hope you guys are all ready for it. Espers, anything with magic is going to work for you. Honestly, anything with magic, throw it on her and she will probably be fine. There's not a single, this is the Esper to choose. I would prefer an Esper with evasion up on it to help support her in that regards. And we're going to be looking towards more magic plus percentage since she does have high base magic. gonna be most of the way that we're looking. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Of course, do remember, if you are planning on buying Visior, please use my affiliate link, dig.gs/coins. It's one of the best ways to support me without actually giving me money. I look forward to seeing you guys on stream later tonight. I will be streaming from 9 p.m. Pacific time to 1 a.m. to do all of my Halloween polls, and I hope to see you guys there.